Kanye West had an interview with the New York Times, and as you guys can imagine, he had a lot of interesting quotes during the interview. Kanye West is a talented guy. I know some people might argue with that, but I personally think that he's talented. However, he's very, very narcissistic, and he's very self-absorbed.
Really?
And I have some evidence of that. So I'm going to go through some of the quotes, and yes, they're taken out of context, but if you read the entire article, you're going to realize that even if you put them in context, you get a sense of how narcissistic he is. He says, "I will be the leader of a company that ends up being worth billions of dollars because I got the answers. I understand culture. I am the nucleus."
All right, look, I like the part where he says, I'm going to be the leader of a company worth billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I can relate, God bless, go get him, right? I am the answers, that's funny. Okay, I'm the nucleus, he lost me.
No, I love it though, because it reminds me of Charlie Sheen when he had his meltdown and he just kept bragging about how great he was. In the meantime, people were wondering whether he was on bath salts.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you're in the entertainment industry, I guess you're allowed to say this, but like they'd lock you up if you were anything else. Like if an accountant comes in one day to his boss, he's like, guess what? I'm the answers, I'm the nucleus. You'd get thrown out immediately.
But I secretly admire what he's saying. I don't know, like, I personally would not say any of this, but I'm so amused. As I was reading these quotes, I couldn't help but like smirk with amusement. Anyway, he continues.
No, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I'm entertained. Are you not entertained?
He says, "I am so credible and so influential and so relevant that I will change things."
I like that he leaves that vague. Not sure what he's gonna change, but things will change because of how relevant he is. By the way, are you really that relevant if you have to say you're relevant?
He's pretty relevant, though.
No, I hear you. It's just a funny thing for a relevant guy to say.
This is my personal favorite. The longer your jevity is, the more confidence you build. The idea of Kanye and vanity are like synonymous.
Well, he's at least admitting it. I don't know if he realizes that that's self-deprecating. He might view it as like, that's a good thing, I'm vanity. And I'm not sure anybody knows what jevity means. Steve?
There's one more quote that he said that you guys didn't put up. He said, "One day I'll be bigger than CNN."
That is not necessarily Kanye, that might be me. Okay, you know why though? Because I'm the atom. That's more important than the nucleus, don't you think?
Sure.
That's the whole atom. Am I getting that right, Nerd Alert? No?
That means he's inside you.
Kim just said that means he's inside you. A little uncomfortable.
All right, he continues. "You know, if Michael Jordan can scream at the refs, me as Kanye West, as the Michael Jordan of music, can go and say, this is wrong."
Okay, all right, scream.
Yeah.
Scream at people. I don't know who you're screaming at, but God bless. Okay.
He says, "I don't know if this is statistically right, but I'm assuming I have the most Grammys of anyone my age. I haven't won one against a white person."
Okay, now you shouldn't say that unless you actually have checked it.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, on the claim that you won the most, like, how can you? I've won the most Emmys. I haven't really checked, but okay.
I don't know if this is statistically right.
This is, like, what does that mean statistically right? It's either right or it's not right. Okay. And then I haven't won against a white person. I mean, I didn't check that either, but.
He says,
and that's a pretty heavy implication for something you didn't check on.
I agree. He says, "I'm the type of rock star that likes to have a girlfriend, you know?"
No, wait a minute. I don't know. I thought they all liked having girlfriends. Oh, is he throwing dirt on somebody?
No, he means like having a girlfriend rather than just chicks all over.
Yeah, like instead of having like groupies
I
around
see
him at
it,
all
I
times,
see
he
it.
likes
Okay.
having a girlfriend.
Okay, well,
Anyway,
that's very monogamous of him.
And then my favorite one, I know I already said I had a favorite one, but this is definitely my favorite one. The very last one, graphic number 30, he says, "I would go up the escalator at Virgin music stores and say to myself, I'm soaking in these last moments of anonymity. I knew I was going to make it this far."
So that's in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is awesome confidence.
I
like that a lot.
I like that. I was like, oh, all right. All
Like,
right.
understand that context is, he hasn't made it yet, and he's like, well, it's obviously happening. This shit
I'm
is
gonna
on.
soak in
Okay?
these moments of anonymity. Like, I'm enjoying these moments of anonymity because I'm not gonna have that in the future. Like, that's.
Can I tell you
I
something?
like that.
I've secretly thought that sometimes. You know what I am? I'm the Kanye of talk show hosts.
Okay.
Okay, and I want to make clear on all this. Look, Kanye oftentimes doesn't make sense. I don't know where he's coming from, yada yada, right? But yes, there's no question that I like him in that sense. And look, you know, when you're a regular person, you do stuff like this, you're called crazy. When you're rich and famous like Kanye, you're eccentric.
Yes.
Right? And he says he has a fun eccentricity to him.
So
Yeah.
I would like to definitely continue to defend him, and I know some audience members are probably losing it right now, but I think that he's a great lyricist, and I have an example for you guys.
Oh, is that right?
This is from the song Click, and it's his part of the song, and I think, hold on, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I love that song, and I think his part is actually the best part of the song. He does it with 2 Chainz and Jay-Z.
Of course. Yeah.
Here's what he has to say, and I love this part. He says, yeah, I'm talking business. We talking CIA. I'm talking George Tenet. I seen him the other day. He asked me about my Maybach. Think he had the same, except mine tinted, and his might have been rented. You know, no, it keeps going. It's so good, so good. You know why people get money, don't spend it? Or maybe they get money by a business. I'd rather buy 80 gold chains and go ignorant. I know Spike Lee gonna kill me, but let me finish. I love that part. I love it. I think it's so good.
Okay, this is the most love Kanye has gotten in a long time. Okay,
But
ignorant as
who puts George Tenet in a song? Who?
fair. And I like a couple of disses, like George Tenet might be CIA, but I was the one with the tinted windows because I'm more important. I gotta keep this shit real, right? And like he's got a Maybach, kind of rented. Okay.
It's so good.
Right? No, not bad. Look, on the other hand, some whose lyrics make no sense whatsoever, and they're sung from underneath the water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here, just real quick, one more. Now I'm at the crib right next to where TC lives. That's Tom Cruise, whatever she accused. He wasn't really drunk. He just had a few brews. Passed the refreshments, a cool beverage. I think it's so good.
Look, I'll say this in conclusion. I would like to have his life because he's carefree. Like, as my ex-girlfriend used to say, not a care in the world, right? He can dress whatever he likes. He don't want to go to war that day. He's going to wear Juicy Couture. He doesn't have to make sense that day, so he doesn't have to make. And he's not constricted by, like, look at that. Regular folks can't wear that, okay?
Regular folks will get sent to Gitmo if they wear that.
Right, like somebody will round you up or something, right? And he's having sex with the hottest woman on the planet. You know, not the hottest. I'm saying, like, hottest in general, all the different women he's having sex with, right? And he's interrupting people in the middle of their speeches because he's living free, man. That dude is free.
Ain't nobody messing with this clique.